Hey Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Sunday the 24th of September and I'm back for my weekend update. I haven't gotten very much stitching done this week, but I thought I would share with you what little bit I have completed. So last Sunday I started with working on my baked goods by Little House Needlework for Santa Sunday cross stitch with Chelsea and Priscilla. It's a stitch along on Instagram that was originally started by Paulette of Plum Street Samplers. And this is where I am. I did get this border completed last weekend along with the start of this flower and the dark chocolate at the bottom of this word goods. So that is where I am. I also worked on my pins and needles, which is a stitch along I'm in as well. And this is where I am with this piece. This week I completed the gentleman. I also completed most all of the greenery and strawberries in the basket. So I don't have much more before the basket is complete. But look at this guy here. Now, when you're stitching from the pattern, I thought, based on the wording in the pattern, that possibly he was proposing to, he's actually facing a lady that I haven't stitched yet. And I thought maybe he was proposing and that the engagement ring was on a little pillow tuft. No, that's a strawberry. So is he offering himself in exchange for a strawberry? I don't know. But I found it funny as I was stitching it. I thought, is that the right color? Wait a minute, that can't be a pillow. No, it's a strawberry. And also, I had been stitching this on a Q-snap, and for some reason, I was just finding stitching this piece on a Q-snap a little cumbersome. So I switched over to stitching in hand, which is not something I'm really familiar with. I haven't only done it on a piece or two in my life, my stitch life. It's going okay so far. I will say that I don't always like the look or how my stitches are looking as I'm stitching them. I think it may be a little easier if I was stitching over two, because I could fold one length of thread over and not have to tie down a thread in the back. But overall, just like with anything else, practice makes perfect, so I'm going to keep working on it and get going towards the finish. I do plan to finish that piece by the end of the year. I don't want to roll it over into 2018, which everyone that watches me knows that's going to be my sampler year, and I'm very excited. Some of you have expressed concern that I am overextending myself with the amount of samplers I have bought to take with me into the coming year. Arlene, don't worry. I think I have decided that I'm going to stitch around 6 or start 6 samplers next year. That's two months a sampler. Does that mean I'm going to finish all of them? Of course not. But I do want to get started on kitting them up. I do have a few samplers that are in my WIP pile that I will also take with me into next year, just in case you get bored with one or one's not speaking to you. So I will have more than 6 that I'm actually working on, but I think I'm going to set next year for 6 starts. So hopefully that'll ease your mind a little bit. You could always loan yourself out and come stitch with me, Arlene. I would love that. You can help me work on my samplers. What else? Let's see. Oh, going through all these samplers, I've realized that I'm a cross-stitch hoarder. I have way more than I will ever need to stitch on. Now, keep in mind, at my age, that I started stitching in my early teens. And I have collected over the years, so that is one reason. But I enjoy my little library, my little collection, my little hoard. But there are things that I've started that I know I'm never going to finish. And there's just no reason to hold on to something that I'm not enjoying if there is someone out there that may possibly enjoy it and will love it and finish it. So this week I have sent out 3 pieces that I had originally started, and one of them I actually sent my stitched piece as well because I had so much actually done on it. But 2 pieces I removed the stitching, and I'm going to sell the patterns. I'm sorry, there's 2 more that I have removed the stitches, and I'm going to sell the pattern, and there are 2 that I had mailed out this past week. One is a loan, but one as a gift because I'm just not going to finish it. And I'm doing a little more of that evaluation as I go. I think it's healthy. It kind of makes me feel good to gift something. It makes me feel good to take something off of my plate, off of my to-do list. So anyway, I think I'm going to continue to do that as I'm looking through for these samplers. And there was another reason that I was looking through my samplers this week, and the reason was that several years ago I was a member of our local sampler guild, the Burt Whistle Sampler Guild, and my children started doing sports, and I have 3 children, and they're all spaced 2 years apart. So I was very active with them. They were very active. So there was no extracurricular activity for Mom because their extracurricular activities became my extracurricular activities. So I dropped out of the Sampler Guild and the Embroiderers Guild, and honestly, I thought that it had disbanded. So I had mentioned it here on Flosstube one day, and one of my friends that's still a member, Jane, said, "No, we're still together. The guild is still active." So she gave me the information and said this past Thursday was the first chance that I have had to get out and visit with the Sampler Guild. And it was great because several of the ladies were members when I was a member, and so it was great to see those sweet faces. And the other thing I was excited about is they are going to start a new stitch along starting next month. They're going to do a monochrome alphabet sampler. Now, originally they said a red sampler, but by the end of the night they said, if you want to use black or you want to use a dark blue, just make sure it's a monochrome sampler. We are responsible each for researching the type of stitches used to complete the alphabet, not the stitches themselves, but the stitching of the alphabet to what country it originated from. And we will be given a stand-up in the Sampler Guild to give the information we've collected about the sampler that we've chosen. So if it's a reproduction sampler, you can give the information about the sampler as well as the alphabet. If you've chosen just a more modern sampler, you're going to research the alphabet to see what country the alphabet stitching originated from. So I'm excited about that, but guess what? That means another new start for this year. And so I'm digging through my hoard, my library of patterns, and do you think that I have a red alphabet? Do you think that I have an alphabet that I can convert to a monochrome alphabet? So guess what? I've been on eBay and I have not found anything I'm interested in, but also I still have all those magazines that I bought this year. So I'm going to take a look through them and see if there's maybe something I overlooked, or maybe even something that I marked that I was interested in that I can use in the place of that alphabet. So keep your fingers crossed I have something there, because it'd be great not to have to buy anything. A couple of videos back, I let everyone know that Susan, and it's Golden Stitcher, I believe it is 39 on Instagram, and she is actually going to be giving away the Amish Life sampler, and I am just using my videos as a way to get word out there. So anyway, we had 29 people that requested to be on the list for possibly winning that sampler. Not, is it really a sampler? It's just it may just be called Amish Life. And there was a total of 29, so I asked Susan to choose a number between 1 and 29, and the number is 9. And so the winner of that Amish Life piece is Nina Hobby Site. So Nina, congratulations. You're going to love the piece. It's beautiful. I have it myself and hope to stitch it one day. Just message me here on YouTube. You can message me on Instagram or on Flosstube, not Flosstube, Facebook. And I will be sure to get your information. I need your mailing address, and I will get it to Susan so she can get those magazines out to you that have that piece in it. So congratulations again. And speaking of Susan, I got a sweet little rack in the mail from her this week. She knows that I'm enjoying Homespun Elegance right now from the Santas I'm stitching, and this, she sent this, which is another of the Cinnamon Stick Santas. This is Wishing Thee Merriest. Yeah, Wishing Thee Merriness. I'm stumbling over my tongue today. And she also sent the Stitcher 2. And I believe the Stitcher 1 is a piece that Dina of Half Stitch Cross Stitch just finished. I believe she had it framed too, but don't quote me on that. But I don't think I have ever seen this one, and I do love it. And she also sent a few of these cards, and these are by Hands Across the Sea samplers, and they're actually Hands Across the Sea samplers on the front cover. The great thing about these cards, because I had already purchased a few to send out to friends, is that there's a small pattern on the back of each card so that whoever you send it to can use to stitch up a small. So I look forward to sending these out. I love to send out cards, and I do send them out randomly through the week, but I look forward to sending these out. So thank you, Susan. I love the patterns, and I'm going to make sure someone else enjoys these cards because I'm going to send these out in the mail. So that was a little rambling, but to say how things went on Thursday. And then on Friday, my friend Dawn hosted a get-together for herself and for me, her and two of our other closest friends, and she hosted, so she chose the craft for that night. And what we did was we decoupaged pumpkins, and they're the pumpkins like you would buy at Walmart or Walgreens. They're just the orange, I don't know what they're made out of, foam or not plastic, but I think you know the ones I'm talking about. So we used Mod Podge, and I don't think decoupage is the right word, but Mod Podged. That's not a term, but that's the one I'm using. Mod Podged the fabric onto the pumpkins, and then I bought some Spanish moss and some little picks to use. And this is one of my pumpkins, and I'm very happy with the way this looks. I love it. I love the fabric. And each one of us, our pumpkins were all, every time we do a craft, it amazes us how our personalities come out in the things that we create. Because our friend Karen, she's very country, so that is the type of look she goes for. Me, I'm more earthy tones. That's always the place I gravitate towards. And Kendra and Dawn are pretty similar in their tastes. And we just expect those things. But anywho, this is one of mine, and this is the other. And I just love this fabric. I wish I had bought more of it so I could have used it for a project bag. It's a really dark plum purple. My shirt is a blue jean blue. As you can see, or can you see? The color looks similar, but I think it's just from the use of the Mod Podge on the fabric. But it's actually really dark purple with yellows and whites and grays. So once again, I changed up the picks, and I still use the moss. and some jute twine and just kind of draped it from it. But I really love how these turned out. And next month is going to be my month. Next month I will be hosting, and my daughter wants to participate, which we all have daughters, and so I'm going to invite all of them over with their daughters, and so I need a craft that is multi-generational as well as seasonal, so it'll be fall or Christmas, and I'm looking forward to it. Originally I was going to do a day where we just did project bags, but because all of us do stitch, but the girls don't stitch, so I'm not real sure what I'm going to do, but I will make sure that I show you all what I come up with, because like I said, we do it about once a month, and we have a great time. And whether we're baking or canning or crafting or movie watching, I always enjoy my time with those girls. But while I was at Joann's getting the fabric for the pumpkins, I picked up a few more yards of fabric because, you know, I need more project bags. And how can you go in Joann's and not buy more fabric? It's like, or I can't, it's like eating just one Lay's potato chip. It can't happen. Or I don't know, owning one cross stitch pattern. It can't happen. You've got to have two. So anyway, or 200. Look at this fabric. Isn't Santa adorable in his little red truck? And then I found this fabric to coordinate with it, and see this tree, even though it's upside down, is the tree that's in the back of his truck. I love it. Love it. So this would be my outer fabric and inner fabric, because I'm going to have a project bag with this Santa. I also got another fall fabric. I actually got two, and see this bright orange? This looks like a safety vest for a deer hunter. You know, you wear this, deer can't see you, but all the guys in the woods with the guns can see you. But I did get this, as well as this fabric, because I love this little gobbler in the center there. And in case this doesn't go well, I got this fabric, which is, let me open up a little more. Scarecrows, crows, fall leaves, plaid, sunflowers. Love it. So project bags, like I said, I was thinking next month we would do a project bag night, so I bought fabric for that. So what else? I think that's all I've got going on. I had my little grandson here with me last night, or all day yesterday, and he's been gone less than an hour, and I just so enjoy my time with him. He's just so happy, and happiness is contagious. And I think he feels my happiness that he's here. So his happiness reverberates off of me, and my happiness reverberates off of him. But my husband and I have just really enjoyed our time with him today. And coming into next week, I'm going to continue to work on my needles and pins. I'm going to continue my search for a red monochrome sampler that I'm going to be interested in to stitch for Sampler Guild. And that's it. So until next weekend, everyone have a great stitchy week. Enjoy your family. And happy fall, y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.